And now, you're tuned into RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
This is your Tampa Bay Rays RBLR podcast. Nice to see you back here again after another W. We need to make a habit of podding after games because apparently that can only lead to wins. I'm your host, Pat Davenport. I am joined by the guy that usually does this introduction, Zach Dub. Zach, another dub in the book, an important dub in the book. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. Came back to the Trop, got the dub. First home run of the season from Cedric Mullins back in the Trop. It was a great game. It was the atmosphere we had been craving for so long back. It felt like opening day at the Trop, and it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, the sound of the foghorn playing over Tropicana Field after Mullins hit that home run. Oh, I felt like I was being transported to a better time in my life. And I was being transported to the packed Trop, the Rays winning, feel good vibes all around. I mean, there's so many narratives around that game. The fact that it was Shane McClanahan pitching in that game, the fact that Junior went yard, the fact that the bullpen didn't implode. So many signs of good things from this Rays team. And I think overall it's been a pretty good week of Rays baseball as well. We come off a week where we've pulled ourselves back to 500. We were 1-2 last time we pod. We are now 5-5. So we're getting there. Lots of encouraging signs, some interesting roster decisions. Well, one interesting roster decision made today. We'll break that down. We'll break down the Brewers series, the Twins series, and this Cubs game that just happened all today. But before we get there, I just want to ask a quick little favor for anyone that has seen the show before. Hello. Nice to see you again. I'm glad you're back for another episode. Could you please drop us a like down below, wherever you're watching, whether it's on the socials, whether it's on YouTube, just drop a quick like. It lets us know that you support what we're doing and that we're doing a good job. And be sure to join in the conversation as well. You can do so live over at the RBLR YouTube page. You can join the conversation. You can ask any questions about the roster, the Rays, what we had for breakfast. Any of that good stuff can happen over on the YouTube channel. We'll be sure to answer any of your questions if you bring the heat. And everyone else, just sit tight. I might ask you again a little bit later on if you're still sticking around. But let's go back a little bit. We'll leave the return to the Trop for our main event, and we'll go back. Last time we podded, we had just come off a win, but ultimately a series loss to the Cardinals, and we had to go over to face a very tough Milwaukee Brewers team. And in a kind of expected fashion, we did drop 2 out of 3, but we didn't start that way. We started things out with a pretty gritty, close 3-2 win. Zach, how are you feeling about Nick Fortes being the unlikely hero?
Yeah, 2 Nicks really showing out in that game, in Nick Fortes and Nick Martinez. And guys that we, going into this season, I think we really believed in both of these guys. We both liked Fortes. We both believed in Martinez not being in trouble based on some bad starts in spring training. And both came out and showed out. Fortes has been a revelation at catcher. Well, we'll talk about it as we go throughout the week. He has been outstanding and has really, I think, cemented himself as catcher number 1, which we kind of already thought going into the season, but it more and more by the day feels clear there. And Martinez is pitching like SP2 to start the season. A very nice start, 6 innings. We love to see that. But like the Nick Martinez experience that I want is 6 innings, 2 runs or less, and just a nice clean outing, which is what he's given us so far. Little spoiler for what came later on. He's done that again. And he's just been fun to watch. The changeup is working. It definitely giving some of the other veteran starters that we've brought in the past, guys like Charlie Morton, guys like Zach Eflin, that maybe are not always like the high octane stuff guys, but know how to pitch and know how to work an at bat, and really enjoying what we're getting from Nick Martinez. And it was a great performance to start the series off, getting us going in the right direction.
100%. Nick Fortes, just good bat to ball skills, I think, is the main thing to look at as a hitter. Making tons of contact and making things happen. He doesn't strike out a lot. He'll give you an at bat. And yeah, really good at pretty much all the aspects of catching other than throwing out the running game. The Brewers would take advantage of that at points during this series. But yeah, absolutely SP1. I'm a big fan of him. And I know Hunter Fiducia will have to play some of the time, but do you remember when we were talking about when we were kind of bigging up oh gosh, I've lost his name now. Who was that catcher that was going to play like 120 games behind the plate and then didn't and went to the Shadow Realm? I've forgotten.
Oh my word, I've lost his name as well, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, how have we forgotten him already?
That's what he went to the Shadow Realm, so we forgot about him. But he was he was a guy that had Pinto.
Yes, Pinto, Rene Pinto. Yeah,
Rene Pinto.
I would be happy.
He was with the Rays for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should give Nick Fortes the keys we were going to give to Rene Pinto of starting 120 games. Like, I'm more than happy with that. It's just whether or not that's asking a lot of a guy's legs, I will say. But if he can do it, I'd be there for it. I'm a big fan of Nick Fortes. And when it comes to Nick Martinez, savvy vet, doing the thing, has a lovely changeup, kind of almost like a circle change, coming from a high arm angle. And then he also has a curve that he drops in, not too often, but it like has loads. I really like it. It kind of almost works like a 12-6. I really like it.
Yeah.
And I look at his baseball savant. He just doesn't walk guys and doesn't give up hard contact. He's actually not going to strike out many guys, but he's just soft contact. And not going to mess around, not going to play with his food. I respect that kind of pitcher 100%. I could see him leading the team in innings pitched at the end of the season.
Yeah, I think that is like, if we're talking about what the Rays hoped bringing him in, that's kind of what I think that they're imagining, because I think what we've noticed so far from Drew is that they're not really going to let him pitch deep into games. I think the idea for him is we want to save those 6-inning outings for the back half of the season. And so they're going to let him go 5. So Nick, if he can go 6, 7, that's a good outcome. So I think we're going to see a lot of outings like that.
Yeah, I didn't do the hand gesture. For those of you that are audio listening, I didn't do it. Okay. So let's all calm down. Unfortunately, we would go on to drop the next 2 games in that series. The McClanahan had a little bit of a rough start, but honestly, he kept us in the game. The bullpen kind of just let that lead extend a little bit. Brandon Woodruff had a good start in that game. The rubber game, it was another one that felt like it did all fall apart in the bottom of the 8th, really. It was a really tight ball game. Yandy hit a home run off Mizorowski. That was pretty cool.
It was.
Who is just playing out of his mind. But in the 8th inning, we brought in Griffin Jacks, and it all went wrong from there, basically. 6 runs given up in the bottom of the 8th to kind of just put the game from 2-2 to 8-2 out of sight in a flash. I mean, the win probability graph for that, when starting the bottom of the 8th, the Brewers had a 50.6 win probability, so it was basically neck and neck. By the end of the bottom of the 8th, it was 98.2. So not great.
I will just kind of briefly mention about this game, because I think it would be a disservice to not at least mention it. There was a odd decision, not odd, to replace Jonathan Aranda with Carson Williams.
Yeah,
like that's not that odd to get a better runner out there. But what was then odd was then they then switched Williams into shortstop, DeLuca into right field because he pinch hit the next guy. But then you go Ben Williamson to third base and Junior to first. And that inning was just a comedy of errors. And I think there was at least one bad ball that Caminero messed up pretty poorly. I think he also missed another, like he should have probably short hopped it and wasn't able to. It was an odd decision. He didn't have a first baseman's mitt. I'm pretty sure he used Aranda's first baseman's mitt. I don't. That felt very it almost felt a little too cute. It felt like one of those where if it worked, it would have been like, oh, that was like what a stabby move. But it felt like, okay, I felt like we're getting a little cute. Why could we not just have had Yandy play first? Could we really just? So that was weird, and it just sort of cannonballed from there. And unfortunately, that is not the only time that was going to happen this week. A tough way to end that series.
Yeah, it's a shame that that game was hanging on a knife edge until that bottom of the eighth, and if we managed to not give up that inning and managed to pull that into extras, anything could have happened. There was a world where we could have taken 2 out of 3 there from a tough Brewers team that I think may be the favorites in the NL Central. I think it's them and the Cubs, right? They're a good team, Milwaukee, and I really like them. So I think we played tough. It's just a shame that it really unraveled. The bullpen got it a bit wrong again. But then I would say they got on a plane to Minnesota, and then suddenly the bullpen were like, okay, we're going to sort ourselves out a little bit now. Maybe it wasn't on the
after
plane,
the first
actually.
game, at least.
Yeah.
After the first game. Maybe it was after that. Maybe it was like they started the conversation, and the first game happened. Like, all right, guys, we got to figure it out. We cannot have this happen anymore, because they proceeded to give up 10 runs in the next game. And I believe 8 of those were given up by the bullpen, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah. Not all of those runs were earned, because if you want to look in the box score, goes 3 errors in that game. It was another rough game for Junior, if I remember right.
Do we want to talk about that? Do we want to at least kind of give a mention to it? He's been struggling a little bit.
Yeah, particularly with his throws to first base. Junior's made at least 3 throwing errors. I think it's 4.
I think you're right.
Which is rough. Which is really rough. Are you worried?
I am. I'm not worried about his bat, because I think and here's the thing, his bat is struggling a little bit at that point. He's kind of turned it around over the last 2 games, and he's moving back in the right direction, which is proof that I'm not that worried. But I do think that the struggles on offense were affecting the struggles on defense, were affecting the struggles on offense, just in a little bit of a funk, I think. I think it's important to remember that he is 22, and he is a now focal point. Like, when you think of the Rays now, the average baseball fan is going to think of Junior. And there's a lot of pressure that I'm sure, whether or not it's been put on him by the front office or Cash or whoever else, he is probably feeling that pressure just from the universe, from the fandom, because he is the franchise, and he is. And so I'm not going to kill him too much. I do think that defense, generally speaking, there is a lot of talent that you have to have the base level of talent, arm strength, movability, but it's a lot of reps, it's a lot of training, it's a lot of consistent work being done. I do not doubt Junior's work ethic, and so I think it will get worked out.
Yeah, and to do with reps, you mentioned reps. Junior, when he played in the World Baseball Classic, which took up a good chunk of his spring training, right? At least half of the spring training games.
Yes.
He was DH.
That's a great point, Pat.
So he wasn't even getting game reps for half of spring training at third base. So he's had less time in the field than most other players. So the reps aren't there.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, he's having to do a little bit of his spring training fielding wise now. So I'm willing to cut him a bit of slack. It's a shame because they have cost us a couple of games, not Junior alone, but like his errors have been part of those kind of wheels fall off innings that we've had a couple of. But I think, this time last year, we were all, talking about how much he's improved as a fielder. And I don't think that's going to just magically go away. I think he's going to be fine. I don't think he's ever going to be Manny Machado. I don't think he's ever going to take the third base spot from him in the Dominican Republic team. But he is going to be fine, I think. And we just got to let him work through it. And it's going to be getting reps. So I wouldn't be too worried. But it does suck that it has kind of, unfortunately, nobody around him has picked him up in those games where the errors are coming. So they're under the magnifying glass a little bit more. That seventh inning, again, in that Twins game where we gave up 7 runs in an inning, that was a Kevin Kelly fall apart, really. It's
and then I think Gomez came in and gave up the slam. But and I guess if you want to, if you mentioned it, I guess if you want to look for a positive, it is sort of somebody different, and almost everybody has then come in, has had at least a couple of chances to sort of right the ship and looked a little bit better. The one that I think people are going to continue to point at and say, hey, what's going on here, is Griffin Jack. This game was not his fault, but the previous one was. And so, or at least a part of it. And so that is one where with the bullpen, I think the unfortunate part of being a reliever is it is volatile, and there's really not any way to fix it other than going back out there. Like there's no going to AAA, like not really, not when you're an established guy. Like I guess you could maybe, but I don't think Jax has any options. Or actually, he might actually have options. I think I'm actually wrong about that. But I don't think that's the solution. It's not the solution, sending him to the minors. So you're going to have to keep sending him out there. And now I believe that he will work it out. It's just been a little bit rough to watch so far. And the good news has been that over the next 3 games, the bullpen really pulled it back in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we have rattled off 3 straight wins. First, it was a 7-1 win over Minnesota. Steven Matz, really good in that game. 6 innings, just the 1 run allowed. He gave up one single. He gave up a single that scored a run. Sorry, it was on a single. But the Rays' offense exploded. And again, it was kind of a rally, lots of little rallies. It was like a bit at a time. It wasn't like any big blow. And then Salsa, 2 innings, Englert, a scoreless inning as well. So nice from the kind of mid-leverage guys. Love to see that. Just a good win. I think Matz is your player of the game there, but some good performances all around, I think. So, and that's when Mullins started to put it together a little bit. He had a couple of hits in that game.
Yes.
Got an RBI. And then we had the extra inning game in the rubber game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Which Caminero, loved that at bat from Caminero, by the way. Where he was absolutely fooled to bits on a splitter. And then the very next pitch was a splitter even further below the zone, and he just scooped it right out of there to hit his first home run.
Right out of there.
He's a quick learner.
And he had and you had that contrasted with Nick Martinez going back out there and giving another great start. Him only giving up a one-run shot, and that being all he gave up on the day. 6 innings pitched, continuing to show off the nasty changeup. And that was the only run given up by Rays pitching. So the bullpen then came in after Martinez, took care of business, even into extras took care of business.
Yeah, Griffin Jack's 2 scoreless. So
Indeed.
he's had hit maybe his best outing in a Rays uniform so far. And then Baker, who has continued to be a door slammer. He did give up a run today in the Cubs game, but it kind of didn't matter.
It did, yeah.
And Kevin Kelly, again, after having a disaster class the last time out, comes in, gets the save.
and looked good. Like it wasn't like oh no, what's good. Like he struck out one, and then the other two were just fielder routes, and it was no big shakes.
Yeah, and of course the hero of that game though was Richie Palacios.
Yes, I believe that was first pitch.
Yeah, he just
maybe I'm wrong about that.
Clobbered it to right field. And he needed that, I think, because he had a bit of a rough start to the season. Both sides of the ball looked a little rusty. But yeah, absolutely demolished that ball. Because the thing in extras is if you can get that second run in extras, then you're feeling really good. And he did that straight away. Yeah, really good. And we'll talk a little bit about Palacios probably in a week or so when he's inevitably optioned, but it was great to see a guy like that chipping in. But honestly, I think pretty much everyone in the lineup in the position player group has chipped in some way in terms of the hitting, at least, apart from maybe Valade. But again, he's been kind of a platoon against lefties guy. He's had like 2 or 3 starts this season, if that. So I'm not going to harp on Valade just yet, but pretty much everyone else has chipped in a little bit offensively.
Yeah, and the only guy who really, like, besides Williamson or besides Valade, that was just really, really struggling, is no longer on the team. At least he's not on the team. He's just in AAA now, and that's Carson Williams. Who, as much as we like Carson Williams, and as much as we think he is the future of the shortstop position, the fact that he was optioned after the Twins series to bring up Taylor Walls back from injury was not a huge shock because Carson had definitely been struggling.
Yeah, a bummer, but not a shock. Yeah, it's been a struggle. I think Carson Williams, I think in his first at bat of the year, absolutely demolished a ball that went just foul. It got called a home run.
Yes.
And then got reviewed and was actually like an inch foul. And that's been it. That's been it. I think that threw him off. And the rest of the season, he's not really been able to do much. He's not even been fielding as reliably as we'd kind of want for him. The thing we've always said about Carson Williams is that we don't know whether or not the hitting will happen at the major league level, but we feel pretty comfortable about his fielding. And even that's been a bit hit and miss, a bit rusty to start the year. So I think this might sound counterintuitive because it will not do your confidence the world of good. But I think going down there just to get some consistent playing time and play shortstop every day, just to kind of build in your routine a little bit, might be useful for him. And even if it's just to get some good hits off some less good pitching, you might not learn much from it, but it will help him. It'll just help him kind of get back into the rhythm and gain a bit of confidence to come when he does return back to the major league level, because he will this season. You'll feel a bit better about himself because, when the pressure's on to deliver at the major league level, when you haven't done that before from day one, sometimes it's better just to kind of warm yourself into that instead of, not everyone can be JJ Weatherall.
Well, and, Carson was 0 for every game this week. Struck out half the time. Just didn't look comfortable. Didn't look right. And so the reality is this will not be the last time we see him at the major league level. But the reality as well is when you look at what has been the struggle through some of these games, one of the other, like the only 2 areas as we look over the season so far that we say, what are the things costing us games? It's defense and, bullpen. What's going to help both of those things? Really, like, maybe the best shortstop in baseball defense is going to help both of those things. And so, unfortunately, it's kind of a no-brainer. And, give Taylor Walls credit. He had a very nice day today at the plate and looked as good as he always does out in the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk more about today's game, the victory over the Cubs as well, in just a minute. But I'll tell you, bringing up Taylor Walls feels like a no-brainer to raise the floor of the team. Do you know what feels like a no-brainer to raise the floor of your wardrobe?
I don't know, and I could really use that answer.
Oh, well, I've got one for you, and that's going to shop.rblrsports.com. TropicanaField.com. They've got all of the merchandise that you could possibly need for those Tampa Bay sports teams. You've got your Rowdies, you got your Bucks, you got your Lightning, you got your Rays, you got the Sun on there as well. All of those teams represented, all the apparel you could possibly want. And if you go and use the promo code FLAPPY, you get 10% off your entire order. Just FLAPPY, like those Flappy boys, the Rays, back in the Rays tank where they belong. And hopefully a Bring Back the Devil shirt will be where it belongs, which is on your torso. Go to shop.RBLRsports.com. Promo code FLAPPY for 10% off your order. Zach, the Rays played a game in Tropicana Field for the first time in like 500 days. Crazy stuff. We didn't think this was not guaranteed to happen.
It was not.
We spent a good chunk of the 2024 to 25 offseason talking about the remains of Tropicana Field and whether or not it was going to be rebuilt and the politics caught up in between. But you know what? None of that matters anymore because we've got Tropicana Field back. We've missed it and we've welcomed Tropicana Field back with a dub.
The only way that it should be brought back, with 3 opportunities to blow the horns and celebrate with a big crowd back in the Trop, as it should be, with the banners hanging from the balconies. It was a beautiful thing. I couldn't have asked for a better way for this to go. Shane goes out there. It's not the best start in his career, but he does go out there, shows a little bit of that stuff that he's been able to develop over his career, where he is able to, if he has a rough inning, he's able to bounce back from it. You love to see it. The bullpen does a great job holding it down after him, and you get Cedric Mullins' first home run as a Ray, and just sneaking over the right field wall. You get Junior Caminero starting to silence, hopefully, the Trop. The Junior's going to struggle in the Trop, folks. All those people can just watch that highlight if they want to. That ball was demolished. So no matter what ballpark he was hitting in, demolished. And then Aranda having a little tiny slump, able to break out of that and get into some insurance runs at the end of the game. Just a super fun game to watch. Everything felt right. Gets us back to 500. Rays baseball feels up right now on a W3 now.
Yeah, W3. You know what? As soon as I saw Maton pitch to Aranda, I was like, there is no shot in hell Aranda doesn't take this guy deep. And he got the most, it was like, I think even batting practice feels like an insult to batting practice. 74 looper right down it felt like a position player pitch.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. And Aranda don't miss those. And yeah, he demolished that ball. But Junior's home run was equally as impressive because I was like a fastball above the zone.
Junior's just up there.
Yeah, Junior's now in a position where he's like, right, I'm just never going to get a pitch in the zone, so I'm going to get good at hitting bad balls. A bit of the Vlad Guerrero Sr. about him, where he doesn't care if it's out the zone. He's just going to hit it hard anyway, because both of his home runs have been pitches considerably off the zone. And then he got a sinker right down the middle and took it for a call strike 3. He's just so used to not being pitched to now that he gets scared when a pitch is in the strike zone. It's like, what is this? Yeah. So really cool. Great moment for Mullins. Hopefully that can kickstart him a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Chandler Simpson also had a great game. We got to talk about him. I mean, with the bat, it wasn't tons. It was like a 2 for 4 day, but he's been on base every game that he's played in this season. And currently is second amongst American League outfielders in Fangraphs WAR right now, behind only William of the Red Sox. I don't think that was on our bingo card coming into this season of how good he would be so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's up there at around just below a 400 batting average, I believe, 11th in FWAR among everybody in Major League Baseball. He is, and a big part of that has been his much improved defense. It has been He is getting to all the balls he should be, which seems like a duh, but he's getting to all the balls he should be, maybe one or two that are kind of out of his range, but he's using the speed well. His routes are improving. He's making the catches he needs to be making. It is such a big deal for him to be a average or maybe even above average defensive outfielder, because that allows Cash to play him as much as he can handle. And I think he's getting to the point now where if he can truly be at that level defensively, and even be close to this level of getting on base, he becomes an everyday starter.
Yeah, I mean, he made a nice leaping grab today, and you saw how much that meant to him.
Yes.
He was hyped. He was hyped about that. To be fair, Simpson's becoming a bit of a cheerleader figure because the way he reacted on Mullins' home run as well,
yes,
he was hyped for that as well. So I'm loving that energy he's bringing as well. He's not just sticking his head down. He's like bringing a lot of fire to the team as well. Fun little bit of side note behind the curtain. My girlfriend has like never watched baseball ever, right? She's a British woman, so like why would she? But
that's fair.
She has watched 2 baseball games in her life. She watched the last game of last season where we got just trounced by the Blue Jays. So we kind of switched off halfway through.
That's tough.
Yeah. And she watched today's game with me.
Okay.
And she said her favorite player by far and away was Chandler Simpson.
There you go.
That was just off a fresh view. She couldn't really remember much from last year, so she was pretty fresh to the team. She goes, "Whoa, I love Chandler Simpson." She was like, she loves the way he can steal bases. She loved him making that catch and being fired up about it. She was like, "This guy has it. I like him." She liked him more than Junior. She liked him more than Yandy. And so I don't know what that says, but she's clearly a ball knower because she likes the guy with the most WAR.
Yeah, well, I mean, and he's good. He's a spark plug guy. He is a terror for any pitching staff to face. And if he can be a terror on defense, then I mean, he's becoming everything we could have hoped for before our eyes. And we just hope it can stick. Especially the defense. The hit, the batting average may come and go a little bit, but if he can keep the base stealing, if he can keep the defense, he can stay out there every day. He can affect the game with his speed every single day. That is the dream, and right now, it's what we're seeing. Yeah,
something I want to keep an eye on with Chandler is his walks. Currently, 8.1% walk percentage. 3 walks in 9 games. I mean, he had 20 walks in 109 games. So last year. So we're already on a good pace to beat that he's already got 3. That's going to be a key part of his game as well. Because if he can learn to get on base without just having to rely on the swinging bunts, and get on base by hook or by crook, like you said, that's where the weapon is. So if he can maximize his on base, which he has done, being on base every game. In fact, I think it's a crime that he's only stolen 4 bases, considering he's been on base every game so far.
Yeah, and I don't know if that is a symptom of he's had some extra base hits because of his speed, so he hasn't needed to steal, or if there's been guys in front of him. I'd have to try to remember, but I don't feel like he's had a whole bunch of like no-brainer opportunities to steal when he has been on base for whatever reason. And so the steal numbers will go up because if he's going to keep getting on base this much, they're just going to have to. So we'll see.
Yeah, we need to get him to 80 stolen bases this year. There, I said it. I mean, if he keeps getting on base on the clip he does, it's going to happen. I mean, it was also like in the first 3 or 4 games of the season, we stole our base, and since then we've stolen 8. So, I think we were just slow off the mark, but hopefully we'll start running with a bit more aggression. I mean, Kevin Cash likes to send his runners. I mean, Yandy had a bit of hustle today. Let it be.
He did. Yandy was running.
Yes. Yeah. So keep an eye on that. Maybe Yandy will steal a base this year. That'd be wild, by the way.
That'd be fun. I'd enjoy that.
Yeah. So huge win. Again, bullpen, apart from Ian Seymour, looked pretty good. I mean, Baker gave up the home run. But Biggie looked good.
Yes.
He pitched an inning in 2/3.
Very big.
Strong.
Yeah, very big.
Very big E. And Kelly as well, another scoreless inning. He seems to just be kicking on after that bad game. Again, I get the only Fraley and Williamson without hits in the lineup. But Williamson made some decent defensive plays. He made a nice dive and grab up the middle. Fraley, he did what he needed to do in the field. So we're 5-5, 10 games in. Where are you at with the Rays? Are you feeling any better or worse about how you felt coming into the season?
I think that the fact that you go on a 9-game road trip to begin the season and you manage to come back home 4-5, and you could have won several of those games if you got bounces the right way or the wrong way, or could have just got one out in a critical moment, especially in that Cardinals series. You could have easily, it been the other way. And then you immediately win the first game of this series against a Cubs team that is, was projected to at least be a contender. They made some big additions in the offseason. They were expected to be pretty good. You play a game where you felt pretty good about it. You feel pretty good about winning the game. And now you get an opportunity against a Boyd, who was supposed to start for the Cubs tomorrow, has gone down. And so they're now moving a guy up, I believe, and then don't have a starter set at the moment for the third game of the series, which so then maybe could you sweep them? Could you at least win the series? And then all of a sudden now you're going to play the Yankees, or the Yankees are coming to play us in the Trop, and we got a chance to maybe, because don't look now, but we are second in the division pending the result of Blue Jays game later today. We're playing the Dodgers. Hopefully they'll lose, so we can continue to be the second.
The Dodgers have been pretty good at beating the Blue Jays last
year. They have been pretty good at that. And so then maybe we're playing the Yankees for the division. And, not that it matters who was leading the division, like 14 games in, but it would be fun. It's always fun to beat the Yankees. So I think we're in a really good place. I don't know that it would have been fair to ask for much better of a start, which feels weird to say because we could have been much better if we just got a couple of bounces. But all in all, like, the fact that the offense has not been the problem is such a huge win to begin this season. I believe in the bullpen's ability to turn it around. Even just we've seen guys go out there and have better outings. So the starting pitching has been as good or better than what we expected. Boyle's been able to come in with Pepio being out and have some really nice starts, which is huge to have him do that. And Shane has been fine, and he's clearly still working some things out. Martinez and Matz have been great, and Drew has been what we expected him to be. It's about as good as you could have wanted. It feels bad a little bit because you lost due to a part of the team that you normally associate with being a strength of the Rays in the bullpen, but I believe that will work itself out. And with that in mind, if we can keep even like a portion of this hitting that we've got going right now, going through the season, this team's potential goes higher and higher the longer we can keep this offense going.
I completely agree with all of that. I think it's a team focused on getting the bat on the ball. I think the swing and miss in this team is at a low. It's as low as I've remembered it in some while. I mean,
they had a stat today that Yandy hadn't swung and missed at a breaking ball yet this season.
That's crazy. I mean, Yandy's always been that. I think, again, if you compare like Mullins and Fraley to like Morale and Lowe, they're going to be striking out much less. Fortes compared to Danny Jansen or to Ben Rotvet. Even Brandon Lau had the strikeouts in him.
He did. Yeah.
And Williamson and Palacios are going to strike out less than them. So the idea is get the bat on the ball. You've got a lot of athleticism on this team. So I think that's the game plan. I think it's going to be get the bat on the ball, let your athleticism do the rest. Let Junior hit the ball out, and that'll have some games where you get absolutely babbipped in both directions. So we'll see how that works out long term, but I always like a ball in play better than I like a strikeout. So, and I think that will help with the runner in scoring position problem that's plagued the Rays the past few years. So, yeah, Zach's cut out a little bit. He is in his car, so he's doing the director's cut of this podcast right now. But
the director's cut of the RBLR Rays podcast. Yes.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a Christopher Nolan thing you got going on.
Should we do Bat and Arm of the Week?
I think we got to do Bat and Arm of the Week before we get out of here. I did the Bat last week, so I'll let you do the Bat this week. Tell us about the Bat of the Week.
Yeah, Bat. We're not gonna beat around the bush. Yandy Diaz is awesome. He continues to be awesome. He has a 204 WRC plus on the week. He is in the tops of baseball in WAR. I think we said earlier, he's number 6 in F4 so far in the season. He is awesome. He just wakes up and hits. He's hitting for extra bases as well. I mean, slugging 667 on this week. Just awesome stuff from Yandy. If he can be this all season long, what that's going to give at the top of a lineup, the immediate pressure that he puts on pitching staffs to start games is just so important because it doesn't allow the starting pitcher to get comfortable. Yandy's awesome. He's the Bat of the Week.
Yeah, and is currently the leader in hits in all of baseball. Most hits in baseball right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So really good. He rules. And that's 2 straight weeks of Yandy Diaz hoops at Bat of the Week. So well done, Yandy. And is he our best hitter? Like
right now,
general?
yes. Comfortably. Yeah, I would say right now.
Yeah. And he has been. I mean, like I put a tweet out the other day of, are we ready to have the conversation that Yandy's a top 5 Ray of all time?
I think it's always nice to have another season of data. So I would say that it's a conversation worth having right now. If he plays like this all season long and maybe leads the team to another playoff berth, then I think it's less of a conversation and more of a where in the top 5 is he?
Yeah, 100%, because it's like Longoria, Crawford, Zobrist, Pena, Diaz, if we're talking position players.
Yeah, just position players. I mean, it's going to be tight. Is KK in there? We have those conversations, but the consistent excellence that Yandy has provided basically since 2019, it's hard to beat it. It's hard to beat it.
Yeah, one of the best trades I think Neander's ever made.
Yeah. Cook session.
So yeah. Sorry, Jake Bowers, but we appreciate you getting us Yandy Diaz. He did get a revenge home run against us.
He did get a revenge home run. He did. You can always tell when it matters a little bit more. He just felt like he had some extra gumption in him during that series.
100%. Arm of the Week. Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about this guy a bunch already, and we're going to have to do it again, I think. It's Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez is our Arm of the Week. And what a week he's had. What's better than 1 good start? 2 good starts. He was awesome twice this week. I mean, if we get his numbers from the week, he pitched 12 innings, gave up just a couple of runs in those 12 innings, and didn't strike out many guys. So the WAR doesn't love him for that, but like walked 1 guy. Gave up a solo shot here, like a little blue pit there. Really, really good stuff from Nick Martinez. Just at a time where the bullpen was like, please, like especially early in the season where starters can't go as long, he was like, listen, I got you. I'll put 6 easy innings up for you. It's not flashy, but it's so valuable to have a guy that can just give you reliably like 6 in April, when many guys are like 5 and dive at this point of the year. A guy that you can trust to give 6 and has that veteran leadership to kind of just be steady and unfazed by whatever's happening. Super important.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed watching him pitch. You mentioned it earlier, just the way he goes about his business. He's attacking the strike zone. He's not messing around. He will, if he can get you on a couple of strikes early in a count, he's going to throw that changeup just off the plate, and you're going to swing right through it. We saw guys do it multiple times over his 2 outings, and like in the same game where it's like, yeah, it's 2 strikes. That changeup's going to be just off the plate. There it was again. Guys are still swinging right through it. So I enjoyed watching him pitch quite a bit. I am taking credit for the both of us not being worried about him coming out of spring training, and he has given us no reason to be concerned in season. Well-deserved Arm of the Week for Nick Martinez. Shout out to Steven Matz, who also had a very nice start this week. He was probably the runner-up there. Was a nice bounce back start from him. He wasn't terrible his first time out. Had one kind of bad inning, but had a very nice second start. Steven Matz did.
100%. Joe Boyle also had a decent start in there as well. Yes. And Wall liked it because he struck out a bunch of guys. So, yeah, I mean, the rotation's been good. The offense has been good. It's just that bullpen and defense that's been a little bit shaky. So hopefully they can – I mean, the bullpen's already shown signs that it's going to improve. Putting Walls in instead of Williams is going to hopefully improve. Junior getting reps in means it's going to improve. So things are on the up. We just got to hope that the hitting stays, like you said, and things could be good. Obviously, we've got a series that now feels very winnable if we can take one of the next 2 against the Cubs, and then that big series against the Yankees before the next time we're up. Before we're back on the road again. Only 2 road home series before we're back on the road again. But that's a pretty favorable road trip, actually. White Sox and Pirates. Those feel like some winnable games.
So if we get some momentum off the Yankees series win, we could be in a very good place in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, although I just remembered that there's someone on the Pirates.
I can't. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch the series. I didn't even think about that. I don't think I can do it. I think it's got, and he's going yard at least once. Over. Hammer the over. Whatever.
I was going to say, 2.5 home runs in the series. Yeah.
Over. Because let's think. He's going to probably get. It'll probably be. He might get Shane, so he may not get one off of Shane, but he will definitely get one off of Rasmussen. He's going to get one off of Raz. And he's going to annihilate a Joe Boyle fastball at some point.
Yeah, he's going to get a Kevin Kelly, a bat against Kevin Kelly as well. Then that's over before it started. Yeah. Hey, or maybe we need to do what the Cardinals did with Junior with Bilao and just never serve him a strike.
Honestly, I don't like if you give Brandon Lau a strike at any point during that series, it is a guaranteed home run. Like if you give him a fastball in the strike zone, you're just asking to have one more run in the other team's tally.
He's started this season with a point to prove as well. Like he went crazy.
He's been very good.
Games. So we try not to talk about it. Hey, it's okay because what are the Pirates this year? Are they like winning?
That's a great question. We find out. I don't know. I think they started okay. But I don't know if they're still winning. Find out. They are 6-3.
Oh, never mind then. But what I will say about Brandon Lau, I'm looking at his Savant, his bat speed has gone down again.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's he is a guy that's going to wait for his pitch and try to drive it out. That's what he is now.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, his average exit velocity is in the 3rd percentile of hitters right now. So you had those 3 home runs and then a bunch of like bloop singles, basically.
Yeah. He may be coming closer and closer to like a 3 true outcomes type of guy at this point in his career. And unfortunately, one of those outcomes he's very bad at getting, which is the walk. So it may be that it's like an outcome, 2 outcomes and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
For him. Yeah. So, but I still miss him.
We do miss him, but I tell you what I don't miss, winning at the Trop, and that's what we're going to end our message on. But if you enjoyed the show today, Those of you that didn't, when we asked you the first time, now's an opportunity to drop that like in, drop a subscribe so you don't miss an episode. You can click the little notification bell as well. It'll ping you whenever we go live. That's pretty useful to do. You can follow us on the social medias as well, where we let you know that kind of thing. You can follow us on social media. The @signs are below us as well. Drop us a comment as well. What did you think of the Rays this week? Are you worried about Junior's defense? Do you think we should have sent Williams down for Walls? What do you think about this upcoming Yankees series? Do you think we have what it takes to hang with the top of the AL East? Let us know all of those things. It's been a pleasure to have you with us the past hour or so. I'm looking forward to some more Rays baseball, some more dubs. Thank you for sticking along with us. And until next time, it's Rays Up.
Rays.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.